due to the overwhelming response of wanting to know about my first wreck, we decided to do a little video on just like the details of the first accident, the accident that changed my life. So I was actually on my way to a training that my job offers when you first get hired on. It's just like a little, it's called like hair academy or something. It's just like a little training for them to show you how they like things done and just give you like some tips and tricks on to getting faster at what you're doing. So I was very excited. This training is a week long. It is about an hour and 30 minutes away from our house, correct? Yes. So I was excited for that, to start that. So I woke up early that morning, got ready, put on cute outfit, did my hair, makeup. I was really excited. I had asked to drive Crystal's car, good gas mileage, like to drive it, whatever. So I was driving her car that morning. I left the house, stopped, got me a soda, and hit the road. And that's all I remember of that morning. Literally, that's all I remember of that morning or day at all.
So Crystal and I and Jameson all got up a little bit behind her, and Crystal and Jameson got ready and left the house.
And your dad kept calling me, so I was just like, that's weird. But he was calling me in like the worst place ever between here and my work. So since I couldn't like answer the phone, he ended up texting me, and he says, "Is Jamie in your car, or are you in your car?" Something like that. And I was just like, oh no. So then, like, after that, I was able to call him, and he was like, alright, so someone just called and said that Jamie had a wreck. I can't remember. It was like just some passerby, and I think they looked and they said like they were looking for mom or dad in the phone, and Joey's parents is saved in our phone under mom and dad. So
because
that's
he's
why.
the technical guy in the family, and he's the one that saves everything. So it's his mom and dad is mom and dad on the phone.
We all share an iCloud account, so like all of our contacts are shared. And when I started as mom and dad, did their landline telephone number like in 1991, like it's just saved ever since then. But so during the same time period that my dad was trying to call Crystal, he had called me, and I don't know why, I just had like this weird gut feeling that morning, like that something wasn't right. And my dad called, and he was like, stay there, we're almost to your house, we're coming to get you. And I was like, what the hell's happened? He was like, Jamie's been in a car accident, and we're headed there. So I had no control. Like, I couldn't even drive myself there.
And that's not Joey. Like, Joey's always in control.
Yeah. Well, he picked you up, and then you guys picked me up at work.
Yeah,
and I'd already taken Jameson to school.
Yeah, I called Crystal, like, as soon as I got in the Tahoe in my parents' car, and I was like, just stay there. We're going to stop by and pick you up. And because she lives literally, like, on the road. I'm sorry, she works literally right on the road where we were driving by. And, so we head that way. It was a super quick trip, as you can imagine, and picked Crystal up.
So what was the information that y'all knew?
That you had been in a really bad wreck, and that you were going to be transported by ambulance. It wasn't there yet.
Yeah, and that you hit a UPS truck, which was not true.
Yeah, they said that you hit a UPS truck. Yeah, it was weird. So, we continued onward and came up on the accident, and of course Jamie had already left prior to us getting there. She had already taken off in an ambulance.
But my car was off in the ditch. It was smashed up against a tree. and the guys that was in the semi that she did end up hitting the back of the trailer, they were still there. There was a OKC Thunder towel out on the, like, what do you call that, on the side of the road?
Shoulder?
On the shoulder of the road where this one, I guess the passenger of the truck, he ended up like holding Jamie still out there waiting for the police. And then as we were standing there, the state trooper pulled up, or we walked back to the state trooper. I don't know. It was really crazy. So we walked back there to him, and he was like, yeah, she's busted her face here, and she's knocked out some teeth. And I thought, oh no, this is not good. And he was like, hey, just be thankful that she's alive. And I'm thinking, I am, but I'm also thinking, oh my God, whenever she notices this, she is going to lose it.
Yeah, so we gave the trooper all the information that we could and everything, dug through the glove box, found everything for him. And then as soon as he got all he needed, we took off and headed to the hospital, the emergency room, to be with Jamie.
And I called Jamie's mom to let her know.
And I called Jamie's sister. Jamie's sister works at the emergency room where she was being admitted, and she dropped what she was doing and headed in.
Tell them about my mom. Tell them about what my mom, that whole story. Like, what did my mom say when you called her?
I mean, there really wasn't a lot because I didn't have any information. I mean,
so what did you, when you called Joyce, what was said?
I mean, I can't tell you word for word because it was just super crazy. I just remember telling her that you were in a car accident, that you were gone before we got there, and that they were taking you to Sparks. And she said, okay, I'll meet you there. So we got there before she did, came to you, and you were shaking, and like there was this blood all over your face. Just it was like run, because you're on your side, and like blood was running in your eye and in your mouth, and
yeah, you
I don't even think you knew who we were.
No, you
was
weren't.
I talking? Was I?
You were, but it was like just, gibberish. I mean, you were complete thoughts and sentences. It just, like you weren't completely there. Like you clearly had a concussion.
Yeah, and then they took her back to do like scans and everything. So at that time, I had just went on out in the hall, and whenever they came back in with her, I was just completely in the way, and all I could care about was like, you do what you need to do, I don't want to be in your way. And then Jamie's mom ended up showing up while I was out in the hall, and she went in to go see her, and she like super broke down after seeing her because, I mean, nobody knew like the extent of how like rough, that she had went through this wreck. Like, we think, oh, well, she had the airbags and everything that deployed, but...
And at this time, they didn't exactly know what was wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone was really worried. They didn't know if I had anything, like, wrong with my brain.
Well, they told us that in one of the scans, they told us that you had a possible brain bleed.
Mm-hmm.
So they immediately airlifted her to Little Rock. And they were up front with us, and they told us that it was going to be like a long drawn out deal, and she was going to need, some reconstructive surgeries and probably even some physical therapy afterwards. So we loaded up in the car about the time she got on the helicopter, and we took off to the house to pack bags.
Yeah, my mom met us at the hospital also, and we came to the house, got bags.
Got Jay stuff.
But we didn't really get too much because we really didn't know what to plan for. Like, we just had no idea.
Yeah, I think we both packed like a couple of days worth of stuff, and then we just took off. Of course, we were trying to like be super quick, and
But careful.
yeah. No, I mean as far as like packing and stuff.
Yeah, because we wanted to get there, to make sure that she got there safely and everything. So we get there, she had multiple friends and family already there and was showing up as we were waiting, and then only 2 or 3 people could go back and see her after we got there, right?
No, actually, no one could go back and see her for quite a while.
But I mean, whenever they actually let us in
Right,
there.
yeah, she was going through like the admissions part of it, and they were doing a bunch of CT scans and x-rays and stuff down there, and they had a neurosurgeon come in and look at what they thought was a brain bleed, and they had the face, ear, nose, throat doctor and face doctor come in and look at her, and the ear, nose, throat doctor actually did the stitches on her lip while like that was going on. He was like, well, I'm just gonna get this done.
And the eye surgeon.
Was I conscious when they were stitching me?
No, you were.
Oh, I
thank
doubt it, because
goodness.
even when we went to go see you in that room, you were out.
They put
Oh,
you
that's
out before
good.
they put you on the
You were out.
helicopter.
That's good.
Yeah.
I have really bad anxiety, so I can imagine I was probably flipping shit. Literally.
You kind of did the next day.
Yeah, you did.
You're pretty mad because they had shaved a spot on your head right here.
Yeah.
Because they put that needle.
Yeah, I'm fucking mad.
But we tried to keep her away from all mirrors. Because we didn't want her to, like, worry about that. Because we knew that would be, like, a thing of the past. And
Well, so, in all honesty, she had a tube down her throat. And she was not happy about the tube. And she kept telling me, like, please help me, like, get it out. And, like, I'm a sucker for Jamie, and I'll do anything
He
for her,
will.
usually. But, like, I know I can't do this, and she knows that I would do anything for her. So, she has a concussion, and she's telling me to get this out of her throat. So she would tell me, I would tell her I couldn't. She would get mad at me. She would cry, and then she would forget.
Oh, that whole
And
next day was bad.
this was in like a 90-second period. And so then she would ask me within the next 90 seconds to come around. It was like the movie 50 First Dates.
Okay, tell them about the mitts.
So
'Cause I can't. I remember a little bit that I had some mitts on my hands and I was pissed off
Yeah,
about it,
that-
but I don't remember why.
that was all in the
or-
same time period. Like, she had these mitts on her head to keep her from, like, grabbing the tubes off and
touching
like,
her face
Yeah.
because her nose would bleed, and then she had the stitches here, she had stitches here, and she kept wanting to touch her face, and they were like, she can't touch her face because there's so much broken.
Mhm.
They were just like so worried that she was going to make it worse.
Yeah, it was.
So they
Yeah,
had
it
to
was
put the
before
mitts
that
on,
they had-
and then they strapped her to the bed.
Yes, and you don't do that to me, okay? Unless we're about to get dirty. Because other than that, I'm going to freak out.
And she did.
over and over and over again.
That is like
She hated
oh,
us.
I have anxiety. You can't pin me down like that.
She
She
hated
kicked
everybody.
one of us out.
Yep.
And then the next one come, and she loved them. And then as soon as they didn't do what she wanted, she hated them, and they had to leave the room.
She fired her mom from being a mother.
Oh, yeah.
I think I was even mean to Crystal's mom, and Crystal's mom's like the sweetest person
Yeah.
ever.
You were mean.
Probably
Yeah, you were
so.
mean to everybody. But we none of us took it personally because we knew that she was kind of like
She was
concussed
on some-
and under,
some heavy meds.
yeah, heavy meds.
Shoosh.
So we finally got her out of ICU after 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and they moved her to a room across the hallway. It's kind of like the midway point between a regular hospital room and ICU. And there we stayed for 2 weeks.
No, a week.
Was it just a week?
Mm-hmm.
We stayed there for a week. We slept in recliners and had
There
a-
was like a love seat size couch that me and Joey slept like head to foot.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
Oh
wouldn't
my
give y'all
gosh.
another couch.
mm-mm.
Oh, hell no.
That's mean.
I watched every
Polyamorous problems.
free movie I could find online or television show during the night because it was very rare that I'd be able to sleep because of the stupid beeping.
Oh,
Or-
she didn't take that well either.
So another thing that happened during the wreck is Jamie was trying to push the brake and so she broke her foot. Jamie could not and would not walk during this whole time because, well, number one, Jamie is already clumsy enough when she's not under any kind of medication. Number two,
She was
the fact that she was under that and trying to administer crutches that she had zero experience on
Yeah,
was not
never.
happening.
And she was not using a bedpan. There was
Oh,
no
hell no.
way
No
she was
bedpan.
doing that.
Nope, she was absolutely like
That's just
100% against
degrading. I can't.
bedpan. So I had to pick her up every single time and carry her to the toilet so that she would use the bathroom because her foot was broken.
And you did.
I had to wipe. I had to clean her up.
Yeah, we both did.
Crystal did the shower detail. Crystal was on shower detail
Oh yeah.
every single time.
And monthly came
Yeah.
during that
Oh,
freaking
of
week.
course that
yeah.
monthly
I mean, like
came.
literally any crappy thing that you can think of having during a hospital stay is what happened to her.
Yeah, literally.
It was the shit.
But we did have some of
And
the
I had those too.
but we had some of the best staff people.
One
that
of them
we could
looked
have ever
like Jason
had.
Momoa. Like legit looked like Jason Momoa.
Like these people like genuinely cared about Jamie. Like they would come in at the beginning of their shift, like they wouldn't even put their stuff down and they would stop in and be like, "How's my sweet girl today?" You know, everybody would come in and check on her, and yeah, we actually gained some friends out of that deal down there at the hospital. Amazing staff at UAMS and Little Rock.
Yeah.
So did the surgery that weekend. I think that Friday.
Saturday.
Was it Saturday?
Yeah, because the doctors never operate on Saturday, and they actually wanted to get it done, and they knew it was going to take. She was in surgery for 8 hours.
11
hours, that's right. She was in surgery for 11 hours on a Saturday, and the doctors had canceled their plans, their weekend plans, to come in and do it because they wanted to get it done. They did. Two different surgeons did their things during that time period. That way they wouldn't have to like go back and do something later. Yeah, it was actually like right on the limit of how long that they were supposed to leave her under. They like maxed it out.
Yeah, and the night before, like I was like worried and I was trying not to show it, and she said, "Tomorrow, will you please just go and do some Goodwill shopping?" She didn't want me sitting at the hospital, which there's nothing I could have done if I stayed at the hospital.
She wanted us to go have a date, go eat somewhere nice, and go Goodwilling was her request to us while she was in surgery.
Because one of our really close friends' husbands recently, just before that, had a surgery that he didn't make it out of, and I knew that that's what y'all were probably thinking, and I was just like, oh God.
Like, my whole thing, though, is, like, I did not want you to come back and me not be there. Like, I didn't want you to, like, get out of surgery and be like, oh my God, they left me, you know, because you're not going to be 100% like there because you're knocked out and everything.
Definitely.
But whenever
I wouldn't have remembered if y'all weren't there or not.
Well, you would have known at the time. You would have fired us.
But whenever we did come down after you were out and you were in, like, post-op or whatever, you're sitting there in the bed and you just tell me that you wanted ice.
Ice chips.
So I had to sit there and I had to find the smallest ones because you just had that surgery. And I just, like, barely could stick it in your mouth and you just sit there. And then whenever you wanted more, you'd be like...
And luckily, while we were there at the post-op recovery, they actually decided that she was good enough to go back to her room.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to like walk with her back to the room, and then Jamie's like mood changed like completely from there on out at the hospital. I don't know what they gave her during that surgery, but yeah, she just went to back to her old self.
It was like the last couple of days, like in the evenings, it was like really rough. Like that's when it seemed like the roughest.
Yeah. Pain
because of the pain.
Well, they were trying to wean her off the pain meds. Wean her off. They were trying to wean her from the pain meds, and yeah, slowly but surely she's starting to get the intensity of the pain that she's feeling.
But I'm also glad that we were there. Because I can't tell you how many times we would be in the room with her and they would come in to give her meds and they'd, like, give her a straw. And I'm like, she can't have a straw.
Right.
Because she couldn't do the suction because they didn't want anything messed up with her palate because it was detached. And they were afraid that it was going to get worse before the surgery. And I'm like, how do you people not know this? Like, this is something important.
The food people, though, they're not the medical people.
No, but it was the med people that would do that, too, sometimes.
I don't remember that.
So I had to, like, watch them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm not, like, sad or upset. I just, am emotional.
She's a very sensitive
I am.
person.
Oh my god, I cry all the time.
Oh yeah, we can't watch a movie like it'll be about these criminals in jail, and there's something that's gonna
Not
make her
even
cry.
not even
A
a movie.
murderer, if a murderer is crying because they missed their mom or because they're upset that they killed somebody and they're
It
crying,
could be a
I'm gonna cry.
30-minute sitcom. It could be an animated 30-minute sitcom, and she will find some reason for it to be sad.
Well, what if like the dog dies or something?
So anyway, she ends up getting a lot of titanium on her skull, and she ends up, healing well, good enough that she's able to leave that following Monday, right?
Yep.
So she had the wreck on a Monday, June 18th, left the following Monday. I actually went home Sunday because I had to go back to work. My mom went up and picked them two up, and
Took me.
she had to go to, where was it?
She brought us back to the house, and we grabbed some stuff, and then
No, we did not.
Mm-mm.
Did we not? Did
No,
we go straight
I
there?
had brought-
they took. So they wanted me to go to like this rehabilitation place.
The doctors.
The doctors, yes, because I had like some bruising on my brain, and I don't know. I guess
Cast.
and a cast, but that's not my sister is a medically trained person and said someone breaking their foot does not mean they need to go to rehabilitation.
No.
But anyways, like they wanted me to stay there, so I went there, and my mom stayed with me the first night. They didn't tell me how long I would be there or anything like that, because they didn't really know. They didn't know if I could bathe myself, feed myself, do all that. So I really didn't want to be there. I wanted to be at my house because I like my house, and I didn't I was in pain, but like I had two people to help me. Like they were gonna help me. Like I don't know. I just did not want to be at that place.
True story. So I woke up Monday morning with a buttload of texts and phone calls from her. So she wanted me up there now because she
Tuesday.
was
It was Tuesday.
Tuesday. That's right. She wanted me up there now because she was going home, whether
Yep.
they liked it or not. So me and Jameson took off, and we went up there. We waited around for a little while to see a doctor. A doctor decided to go home rather than see us,
Mm-hmm.
so we walked out.
Because me and my mom had already talked about it. And I'd already talked with my sister. And my sister,
Well, they couldn't give us a reason why she needed to stay. She passed every single test.
every single one.
Every single test. She was supposed to. They said that if she got 3 stairs, she could go home.
I got 6 with crutches.
She got 6 stairs. Anyway, she just obliterated their tests. And I mean, how rude is it? You don't treat another human being like that. You don't just
didn't
go
need to be
home.
I just didn't need to be there.
Right. You just didn't need to be there. It was all about money, and we knew that at that point. So yeah, we packed her up and we walked out.
I had to sign this paper.
Yeah, and they were not nice about it.
Oh
I mean,
no! And they took forever to give me this paper, like to the point where I was like, "I'm going to leave without signing that paper if you do not bring that paper."
They were just very non-understanding of the whole situation. So we did it. We came home. It was rocky. I think the first night, Jamie tried to. I think I had to take her to her mom's house because
No, my mom came and got me.
Yep.
mom came and got her because she was, up and down on the moods, and the meds were still wearing off, and
Joey wouldn't just give me what I wanted.
it took about
exactly.
It took about 2 hours, and I ended up getting told by her to come get me. So I drove to her mom's house and went and picked her up and brought her home.
That's actually not how that went. So he actually, I'm pretty sure, followed.
Nope.
I was not there that long.
You were.
I was not there. I was not at my mom's house that long. Maybe 10 minutes.
Are you going to trust the person that was on the pain meds that night? Or are you going to trust me?
I'm just saying.
Welcome to the regular lives of the triplets.
So, the moral of that story is Joey loves me, and he just can't live without me. Anyway.
Well, I wanted her home because I don't think her mom would not give her or do anything that she wants, but I know that I will take care of her, and I mean, so that's why I always wanted her.
We did for a whole damn week.
Yep.
Yes. So, when I got home, it was boring. I couldn't drive, so I couldn't leave the house. I watched TV, and that was about it, and it was so boring, and I was so lonely, and, it was just, over it. I got really depressed. Really, really, really depressed. Like the most depressed I've ever been in my entire life.
Cabin fever mixed with loneliness.
And mixed with your looks, your life changing. You know, my face wasn't the same. My teeth wasn't the same.
Definitely, she got in a dark hole.
Huge dark hole.
But it wasn't like a relationship problem dark hole. It was like she wasn't happy with life.
Depressed.
You know what I mean? Like she was not. She was just not happy with the way her life was. Like we didn't have, problems because of it. Because I think she never blamed us for anything. But yeah, she definitely went, into a place that most people never go. Okay, so after Jamie's long bout with depression there, during her recovery, she woke up one morning and really just decided that she wanted to go back to work. Somewhere along the way, she had to take off, and she's had several surgeries since then. We've had a bunch of doctors' visits and appointments we've had to go to back and forth to Little Rock.
Yeah, and that's like a 2.5-hour drive to go up there, have a 30-minute appointment, just to say, all right, well, we'll see you back in.
And for me to go back to work, I had to then again conquer the fear of going to that week-long training, driving there, passing, getting on that interstate, passing that same spot that I'd passed and, changed my whole life. So it was very, very anxiety-ridden, and I can remember me driving that morning up there. It started to snow or ice or I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it was
November. This time again in November. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was on my way, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm going to pull over, and then this isn't going to happen. There's no way I can go to this. There's no way I can continue to drive in this snow and this ice. What in the world?
I remember getting a text from her that said, something is telling me not to go.
Yes. Because the day before, I was going to go up that day and just stay the night with friends. I had a blowout in our driveway. Literally.
On her way out.
I forgot about that.
And I had to ask my mom to borrow her car for a week. So I drove my mom's car up there, and I stayed with our friends for a week and drove back and forth. It was just literally 17 minutes from their house to there, and I just went back and forth, really where else. But it was me having to conquer that fear. It was, I don't even know how to explain it.
She did awesome. And we went up the night before her last day there and surprised her. And
took me to Olive Garden after my last day of training.
Yeah, maybe you did some Goodwill shopping.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think a couple.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So you started out working part-time, and then, the last couple of months maybe you've been working full-time? Has it been a couple of months?
Definitely been. I feel like it's been
more
4 than a couple months for sure.
It's been 4. Started full-time in February.
Okay, well, it's only May.
No, it was January. Late January.
Was it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's been working full-time and doing super awesome. And we are so proud of her. And really, as far as any upcoming surgeries, it's not 100% that you'll have to have any, is it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They're not sure. They're trying to give time.
So, actually, I go back in sometime later this month to go to one of my doctors, Pemberton. Which one's that?
Eye.
The eye doctor. And then in June, I go back for the rest of my face. So on my eye doctor, he promised me that this next visit, we're going to start talking about when we're going to do surgery. I'm not okay with the way I look at all. I'm sure many of you know that, just with me complaining and stuff. But I'm not okay with the way I look, so definitely not going to let no more surgeries happen. That's my goal, is to look as normal as I possibly can. But whenever we go back to the ear, nose, and throat, is that what he's called? ENT? Ear, nose, and throat. Eyes,
Yeah.
nose, ear, nose, yeah. We're going to talk. He definitely wants to do something with my nose, he said. And I'm hoping we can do something with the rest of this. Maybe like, I don't know, like a facelift or something. Yeah, I don't know. Something.
Definitely a rhinoplasty, nose surgery.
Yes.
Because she has 0 bone in there, but yeah, we're
And it feels so weird. Like, I don't have any feeling on, like, over here, and it's so weird. I mean, I don't think I'll probably ever have feeling. I don't think they could probably fix that.
It takes
But, yeah, so just little cosmetic surgeries. Literally, they're all cosmetic. And, yeah.
So that's pretty much where we're at today.
Yeah.
Yep. My hair's grown back. I have beautiful long bangs now.
I've never seen her hair this long. Like her hair, not extensions.
Right.
It's beautiful. This is all for real.
And you got a beautiful smile. She smiles all the time, and that's
I do.
great. Because there for a long time. Oh my god. That's so fake.
No, it's not.
Anyways, thank you guys for joining us about Jamie's first accident. And look for more videos like this. Remember to click the like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.
Yeah, and this is a good example of, hey, if you guys request it, we'll try and make it.
Oh, you have something on your face.
See y'all next time.
Bye.
In November, you
Why don't you say
went
that?
back to work.
We're talking.
Because that's your story. It didn't have to do with me.
Now you know where they come from, Mister. I'm gonna kick her ass.
Beat. Where did we end? Oh,
Just
the depression thing?
yeah.
Yes.